Good morning, JCA. Today is Thursday, February 4th, and my name is Jack Magrini.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Molly O'Connell, and happy Catholic Schools Week. We're going to begin the broadcast today by meeting up with Joey O'Connell as he interviews Mrs. Bush about a follow-up interview from Kate last week. Joey?
Hi, my name is Joey O'Connell, and I'm here to interview Mrs. Bush, who is the club moderator of the school's newspaper. Mrs. Bush, why do you believe the newspaper is vital at Joliet Catholic?
School newspaper, I think, is vital because sometimes we need to bring the news about what's going on in our school to our student body, but sometimes the news goes beyond the realm of just what's happening in school, what's happening in the world, what's happening in our community. And so the school newspaper gives us the opportunity to bring multiple things together in one focal point, and then in one consolidated space, tell everybody about what's going on. And a newspaper is also vital because there are things every year that students feel passionate about, and those passionate concepts probably relate to other kids in the school and other people that will read the paper. So when you take a passion and you give it an avenue to release it to, you get magic. And so you bring the news, you bring the passion, and you get magic. So yeah, it's still vital.
Can you give me some information on what the club is currently up to?
Right now, we are with, COVID, with adjusting our schedule, with how we can meet. Things are a little bit different. Last year, we were meeting as a club every Friday for all of fifth period, and it's a club for juniors and seniors. But this year, it doesn't really make that easy with lunch duty, with having kids separated A through L, M through Z. So we've been meeting, depends on what day we want to meet. We just discussed in our teams, let's meet Tuesday this week during 5B, and then maybe the next week we'll meet on a Monday during 5B. And we have adjusted it just so that we can meet whenever most people are free, and whoever's in school that day can meet in my classroom with me, and the rest can remote in. And I share my screen, and we brainstorm our ideas, and then we kind of piece the paper together. In a normal year, it would just be every Friday during all of fifth, and that way we could just brainstorm, discuss, throw things together, and it's great. Last year was great when we were able to do that. This year is great because we're working with what we can. And so far from our edition in October and our recent edition in just December, we're really making some beautiful pieces here with some great news. So I'm proud of last year's club and this year's club. We are rising to the occasion of 2020, and that's great.
Will you continue to operate the newspaper as a club, or will it make a return as a class in the future?
Some people ask, because newspaper used to be a class and now it's a club, will it ever return to the class status? Right now, it really is, I don't know. However, I like running it as a club. So many seniors have their schedules packed full of AP classes, extracurricular type of elective classes, I should say. And there is not another room during the day to have another class, such as newspaper, because there are other electives going on. So running it as a club, it gives more opportunity to more students to partake in that club. So I hope we can keep it as a club for a while. And if it changes, it'll change at that time. But right now, club.
What brings you the most joy as a moderator?
As an English teacher, I love hearing my students' voices, and the newspaper is pretty much bringing the voice of students to people's voice. And to see it happen in writing, to show the value of the written word in the 21st century is very important. And it brings me joy to see what my kids create, because I could tell them, I think you should do this, and it would be great. But to have them come up with the ideas, to have them write the pieces, to have them put it all together with their own concept, the freedom and seeing what these kids create as students is just amazing. So I get excited every issue of the newspaper because it's always a brand new puzzle piece, which becomes a brand new masterpiece. So it's a great time. So I love the newspaper, JCA, the Victory View. Check out our last two issues in October and December.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Bush, for answering those questions. In case if you didn't see already, the Victory View just emailed their December issue on Monday. So please make sure to check it out. Once again, my name is Joey O'Connell, and back to you guys at the studio.
Thank you, Joey and Miss Bush. Next, we're going to catch up with Charlie and Mr. McDermott to hear about his experience teaching art this year. Charlie?
Hi, I'm Junior Charlie O'Neill, and this week I interviewed Mr. McDermott on his transition to teaching a whole new set of classes this year.
In what ways has this year been different for you as you are adjusting to teaching a new subject of classes?
Art is a lot different in the fact that it's sort of more preparing all the supplies for the students and then sort of helping them create what they envision. It's not as much lecturing, it's not as much coming up with those type of activities to go through chapters and that as you would in like a theology class. It's more watching the kids develop and giving them tips and tricks and showing them different ways to go about completing their work.
And what challenges have you faced with remote learning, especially teaching classes with much hands-on work?
Me and Ms. Stoiber talked a lot over the summer when I found out I was teaching art about how we're going to run the studio classes, because all our art classes are studio classes, meaning they're hands-on. I know some places have gone to doing more of like an art history class or art appreciation to do more book work. But we decided it's important to be hands-on. But the challenge is there is now every student needs their own supplies. Instead of just having a classroom set of scissors, every student needs their own pair of scissors. So I know she has spent a lot of time over the summer preparing all the kits for all the students and preparing and changing up lessons to try to give you guys the best experiences possible. So it's been a lot of that kind of not in class work, out of class work, just preparing all the material and racking our brains on how we can go about doing certain assignments.
Yeah. Okay. And exactly what classes in particular are you teaching now?
Right now, I still have one theology class, so Theology 3, which is morality right now. I have a sculpture, which is a beginning level art class. In sculpture, we focus on three-dimensional items, and then towards the end of sculpture, we do get into some clay. And then I'm teaching Pottery 1, Pottery 2, and Pottery 3. Pottery 3, we just started on the wheel with one of my students, and then photography and editing.
What kind of past experience do you have with art or teaching art?
So I've been an artist for most of my adult life. In college, I liked art so much, I called them like my fun classes, where every semester I take classes in art just so I can create, and it was sort of relaxing for me. I've had artwork that I've done, sculptures and paintings in shows. I've been commissioned for work, so I could say I am a working artist.
Yeah. And lastly, what's been your favorite part of teaching such different curriculum?
Getting to know the students in a different way. Usually in the art classroom, you get to work with students more one-on-one than in the theology classroom, because you get to work with them on their individual projects. So that's been very nice, and just being there for the students and helping them.
Thank you, Mr. McDermott, for giving me the opportunity to interview you today.
Okay.
Great.
We're so grateful that Mr. McDermott could teach art this year. Next, Liv Reddell met up with freshman Faith Pietras, who's a part of the Angels basketball team. Liv?
Hi, I'm junior Liv Reddell, and I had a team's meeting with Faith Pietras, a new freshman, about her experience at JCA so far.
So what made you decide to go to JCA? Like, where'd you go to middle school and elementary school?
I went to elementary school at St. Mary's in Plainfield, and I chose JCA because my parents wanted me to go to a Catholic school, and it was important to me as well, and a lot of my friends were going there too.
So Mary's a sophomore, right? Are the rest of your siblings going to go to JCA after you?
Yeah, so all my siblings are at SMI still too. So when they graduate, they will go to JCA as well.
Nice. So far, how has your experience been at JCA? Do you like it?
It's been a lot of fun, but it's definitely different than what I thought it would be.
Yeah. Have you met anyone new? Like, do you like all of your teachers so far?
Yeah, all my teachers are super nice, and I've met a lot of new people like through my classes and in some of the sports that I've been able to do so far.
That's good. What are you most excited for after COVID ends?
I'm definitely most excited for getting back to sports normally and just going to high school, like just
Yeah.
regularly.
Is there anything you feel like you totally missed out on this year?
Yeah, it was a big bummer to miss out on the big events like homecoming and like attending the football games.
Yeah, I always feel bad for you guys not being able to go to football like normally this year. That was always the best. So you play soccer and basketball. How has that been affected? Like, are you still playing alone with your team, or what's going on with that?
So soccer, the season got moved from the spring into the summer, so we've done very little with that. But for basketball, we were practicing for a little bit, but recently we just got shut down, and hopefully we're going to be able to start back up in the new year.
Well, that's good. Hopefully this all ends soon and everything will get back to normal. Well, thanks for meeting with me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Liv and Faith. Now let's check in with Lorenzo, who met with Morgan Stenson and Katie Van Dyke about the mentor program through our guidance department.
Hi, I'm here with Katie Van Dyke and Miss Stenson with the new mentor and leadership program. We wanted to address this new program so JCA knows what's going on. The first question I have for Miss Stenson is, what is the mentor and leadership program?
Yeah, so the mentor and leadership program that we developed this year, we decided to call it Together because we really want to truly embody our hallmarks of JCA, including trusting that our work is also God's work through education, tradition, excellence, respect, any other hallmark that we have listed throughout our school. We try to embody those throughout the year, helping the freshmen truly get a feel for what JCA is, even though we're in the tough times with the pandemic. So we've had multiple versions throughout the years, including Big Brothers and Big Sisters, Spirit Sisters, and other like faculty staff mentorships. But this year we truly wanted to build something for our freshmen because it's unlike any other year that the other students have experienced.
That sounds really good, and I know it's very tough for the underclassmen during these tough times.
Yeah.
Katie, for you, what made you start this program for JCA?
Well, I got the idea for the program over the summer last year, and one of the freshmen this year, the incoming freshman, I'm actually friends with outside of school, and she had been coming to me with questions regarding how the school year was going to unfold and just about, uniforms and spirit wear and just how everything was going to operate because it was so different because of COVID. And I wanted to give that resource of having an upperclassman that kind of knows how the school works to other students. And I wanted freshmen to be able to have kind of like a friend or a buddy that they could go to and talk to and, ask questions about and just have a familiar face in the hallway that they could say hi to or something like that. So they had like this resource that they could use if they were ever confused or had questions about anything.
That's amazing, especially as I was a freshman one time, and I was always wanting to seek help just if I had a question one time. So last question for Miss Stenson. Even though some people might not be in this program yet and it's just beginning, what do you look for in a leader/mentor?
For our program, the counseling department, they pulled students from their caseload who they saw as first and foremost good students. So anyone who's looking to join or wanting to join, we are truly looking for good students who prioritize school, grades, and studying, because we really think that the change between virtual and in person it's a lot to take on. School can be tough just in one setting, let alone two, and then always having to adapt. And then we also want students who are involved throughout our JCA community. I know that our staff and our students always will say get involved, but we truly want our mentors to be involved so that they can guide their mentees to reach out to different groups and have those other friends rather than just what you're comfortable with. And then I just want to reemphasize is having and following those JCA hallmarks. That's why we put it together and made it that slogan.
Thank you so much, Ms. Stenson and Katie. And hopefully people can continue to get in this program so it continues to progress. And our classmen feel safe and coming to these mentors and leaders in our JCA community. Thank you so much, and back to the studio.
That's awesome. Thanks, Lorenzo. It's been great celebrating Catholic Schools Week. Today, the seniors will celebrate Mass together, and the freshmen had the opportunity to get their scapulars this week from Father Jeff and Father Neppy. We hope everyone had a great week.
Thanks for watching, and go Hill!
For more information, please visit our website.